Hi friends, welcome to BMS a Week channel. How's it going? So you're stuck with this MySQL Workbench error which says cannot connect to the database server because your database server, which is MySQL Server, is hosted on WSL. Well, don't worry. In just 5 minutes, this video will help you resolve it. First of all, before everything, first of all, check if your MySQL server is up and running. For that, let's run the command sudo service MySQL status. Okay, this clearly says MySQL server is not running. Cool, let me start the server. Let's start. And there you go. Let's verify. Right, so this says my server is now running and its uptime is 4 seconds. This is our first step. Second step, let's try creating a new user. Let's not use root. Okay, for this, let me create a user, but before that, let me log in as root. So I'll say sudo MySQL minus user root with a password. Enter your root's password here. Alright, so you have successfully logged into MySQL. Let's create a user. Copy this command here. I create a user Tom, and notice this percentage wildcard. This says that the user Tom, when you're trying to connect into the MySQL server through the user Tom, it should be able to listen to all possible IP addresses. That's where we specify this wildcard. Okay, let's create it. That's done. Let's also grant few permissions. In this case, let's say the user Tom can create, alter, drop, and do other things on the database. Okay, let's also flush the privileges so that the user is active. Cool. So now our user Tom has been created and also has privileges to perform specific actions on the database. Our second change is done. Third change, we have to update the IP bindings of our SQL server. For that, let me exit MySQL and head over to a specific location, which is under the etc folder. This one. You have the /etc MySQL conf, and you have this mysqld.cnf file, which has a few set of properties that you can configure. And in this, take a look at this line called bind address, and this currently listens only to 127.0.0.1. Let's update this to listen to 0.0.0.0, which means now it can listen to any IP addresses. Let's save this, and remember, you have to restart your SQL server. So let's run the command sudo service MySQL and restart. Let's wait. Alright, let's verify if it's up. Status. Cool. So our SQL server has been restarted with the new changes that we made to its configuration. So third step is done. The last step is where you have to get to know what is your WSL's IP address. For this, let me open a PowerShell. And in here, let me enter this command WSL hostname -i, and this gives me the IP address on which my WSL server is running, right? Let me copy this and use this to connect to my MySQL server. Copy this, and now let me head over to the MySQL Workbench. Close this. Let me create a new connection, and in here let me give the connection name as Tom1. And pay attention, host name is what we have to update to the IP address that we copied from the WSL. We go here. This is the same IP, port we won't change. And remember, the root has to be Tom, right? It's the user we are trying to connect to. And Tom has almost all privileges that are necessary to connect. And that's it, okay. Now let's click again. Now let's enter the password. Remember, the password was just a password for testing purposes. There you go. If you're able to see the screen, then congratulations. You are now able to successfully connect to the database. The fourth step is also complete. Let's just verify, right? Let's create a database called test1 and let's run it. Control enter. Okay, seems like it's already existing. So let me create test2. Perfect. As you can see, I'm able to create this database test2 by connecting to the MySQL server, which is running in the WSL, through the user Tom, through the MySQL Workbench, which is working and running on my Windows machine. So hope you guys will now be able to successfully connect to the server and resolve all your issues. For a more detailed explanation, right, you can refer to this specific blog post where I have tried to explain why exactly these changes are needed, and I've also provided few links through which you can get to know more about these nuances. And if you still have any questions, feel free to comment in the comment section. And yeah, that's it. Thank you. Have a nice day.